Hey, Tosh, are you here?
Yes, thanks for having me.
Welcome. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, Tosh.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We made it.
Yes, we did. Welcome to 2022, everyone. And we want to open up with a very well. Actually, we have a couple of news stories for you, and also breaking news. But first, Tosh, how was your holiday?
It was nice. I ate a lot of delicious food. My boo cooked some delicious ribs. Oh man, it was great. It was great. And no one went to jail. So we're good.
Wonderful news. Wonderful news. Well, guys, that's fantastic. And I had a wonderful holiday as well. And I want you all to know we want to talk about Tanisha Chappell, the fact that she passed away after allegedly being poisoned in an Indiana jail. What do you think happened to her, BLR family?
Yeah, type your
Subscribe.
comments.
Yes. Subscribe, like, share, and comment on these important videos that we're about to get into. It's a very troubling story of what has happened to Tanisha Campbell, or to Tanisha Chappell, excuse me. And we're going to explore a little bit about what happened to her. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Right, right. Also, Black, before we get into that, sorry. Before we get
Mhm.
into that, I know that you had also some other breaking news. I think that you wanted to share before we get into this, or
Oh,
did you want
yes,
to?
yes. Um, let's go ahead and do that. You're absolutely right.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thanks. This is very important as well. Guys, I don't know if you're aware, but we have lost uh, a very iconic movie star. Do you guys remember the Mac?
I do. I remember him. And you know what's so sad? Well, for those of you guys that are too young to remember the Mac, you got to go watch it. It's an iconic movie. And Max Julian was the star of the show. He played alongside Richard Pryor in this movie, and
Yes, he did.
it got a lot of attention.
Oh,
This
this
movie.
was an amazing movie. This is definitely an oldie. But Goldie held down the streets as the Mac and
Mhm.
the drug dealer. He was quite a character and quite the dresser. He was, in fact, the Mac. A lot of people wanted to be like Julian, like Goldie. But yeah,
Yes.
that was a phenomenal movie. And of course, we want to send prayers out to his family. Rest in paradise, 1945 to January the 1st. And it's really sad. He was born on New Year's Day and he passed on New Year's Day. So rest in paradise to him.
Yes. Wow.
Yes. So with that, now we're going to go ahead and dive into this story about what on earth is going on. What has happened to this young
This is
woman?
video that was denied through open records. The family had not obtained it, and definitely not the public until now. We
Hey, Black,
reported
you want to
the
pause
medical
for one
records
second?
and ambulance
Okay,
reports, and
stand
how
by.
Chappell's attorneys believed she'd been suffering for hours without getting medical help. Now we get to see some of what jail staff did, and more importantly, what they didn't.
Okay, guys, stand by, please.
Okay. Hey, Black.
This is video that was
Mhm.
denied through open records. The
Here we go.
family had not obtained it, and definitely not the public until now. We've reported on the medical records and ambulance reports, and how Chappell's attorneys believed she'd been suffering for hours without getting medical help. Now,
Tosh, were you calling me?
Yeah, but you read my mind. There was a little bit of a lag, but you beat me to the punch and you restarted it before I could ask you to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and dive right on into it then.
Yeah, you're perfect. We're good. We're good.
Fantastic. Here we go.
All right.
Now, BLR family, let us know what you think about this. Here we go.
we get to see some of what jail staff did, and more importantly, what they didn't do. Disturbing new video shows Jackson County inmate Tanisha Chappell begging for help for hours before she died. For nearly 24 hours, Chappell complained she was in pain, according to Jackson County prosecutors.
Can we
At
pause
one
for a
point,
second?
she hits
Can
her
we pause
head
for a
on
second?
metal.
Okay,
Oh man,
Tosh, go ahead.
I picked the wrong time to tell you to pause because that was a very impactful moment of this footage. But the first thing I want to say is, where is the bed? Where's the bedding? Where's the? Because you know, is that where she's supposed to be sleeping right there on those bunk
Oh
beds?
yeah. Oh
Where's
yeah.
the padding?
That's
Where's the blanket?
that's a very, very extremely good question. And this picture is very telling.
Yeah.
This picture of her cell is extremely telling.
Yeah, I almost wish I didn't tell you to pause then because if you want to like rewind it just a little bit, because I think when she fell, that was a very impactful moment for people to look at. Because I won't say why right now. I want you guys to form your own opinion, but in my opinion, that was a very impactful part of this situation.
Okay, let's see.
She hits her head on metal. A guard would later write that video showed she had just missed hitting her head. From there,
Did it look like she missed her head or does she hit her head to you guys? What do you
Let
think?
us let us know. Let us know because see, I wish more people were in here right now, but I'm sure the replay gang they're going to type their thoughts. But in my opinion, that was another lie in this story. You could clearly hear her thump her head, and I hate to do this, Black Label, but can you just rewind that part one more time? You could clearly hear her hit her head against that surface.
would later write that video showed she had just missed hitting her head. According to Jackson County prosecutors, at one point, she hits her head on metal. A guard would later write that video showed she had just missed hitting her head.
I think she hit her head on that top bunker.
Yeah,
And it wouldn't have been as severe if it would have had cover. Now, where's the covering? That
exactly.
was an excellent find there,
Mhm.
Tosh.
Exactly. That's like constant. I think people in concentration camps were either treated equivalent or better than these living conditions, in
Yes,
my
this
opinion.
this is just not right. From just looking at what I see, she has nothing in her room whatsoever. Not cover, no covering. Guys, this is winter, and it's a very, very cold winter. Let's go ahead and continue.
Hmm.
You have something, Tosh?
Yeah, I was gonna say, and we all know that when you have curtains up, that's a little bit of insulation against the cold coming through the windows. There's no insulation. It's just basically what looks like a window. Um, and there's nothing to protect her against the cold at all.
Nothing. Well, what do you guys think in the chat? Welcome in, Yolanda James.
Yes, what's up, Yolanda? It's good to see you. Happy New Year. Did you do anything fun for the New Year's? And it's always great to see you.
Um, yes, let's go ahead and continue.
Okay.
From there, Chappell is seen vomiting and naked after telling a guard she felt she was on fire.
Oh my God, Tosh. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
She was seen naked
Mm,
and she felt like she was on fire.
mm. Now, I'm not gonna go too far ahead, but the toxicology reports after this woman's demise, that point, just keep that in the back of your head. The fact that she felt hot, so hot that she didn't care that she was naked. She didn't care that at any time anyone could walk in her room and see her. She was that hot. And just keep that in the back of your head because I'm pretty sure when you guys hear the toxicology reports on what was found in this woman's system, it's pretty much going to explain why she was doing this.
Yes. Can you imagine being feeling like your body is on fire?
I've
I mean,
never. I mean, a fever is bad enough, and that doesn't make me feel like I'm on fire. But for her to have that sort of a reaction, something wasn't right. That's
Right. Tosh, I'm sorry, you're echoing.
oh, sorry, my bad. I'll fix it.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead and continue, please.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Hmm.
All right, is that better?
Perfect.
Okay. Okay, cool. Now it kind of sounds like I'm still echoing.
No, you're not.
Oh, I'm
Con-
not. Okay. Okay, good. Yeah, no, I just wanted to point out that the toxicology reports after this woman passes away in this jail will show why she was reacting in this way, and that's why the family and have been speaking up for Tanisha. So that's it. That's all for now.
Very good. Let's continue.
Okay.
She's covered in her own waste. The calls for help continue. Starting at
Wow.
2:13 in the afternoon, during the span of
She said that she could just lay there and just sit there and just suffer.
That's
It's like
disgusting.
it's very upsetting, this information, guys, and this footage. It's just very, very troubling. What do you think about this? Do you
Um, sorry, Black. Go ahead.
do you think that Tanisha should have been neglected in this form? Do you think that she should have been placed in a room that had no covers, no pillows? Do you think she should have been allowed to lie in her own feces? Do you think if she was a harm to herself that she should have been placed in a special jacket so that she would have and also been placed in solitary confinement somewhere for her own safety?
Exactly. And also, to Black Label, to your point, you know, one thing that my eye keeps going to is that white block in front of the door. It's like a white block. It looks like that's the where the toilet is.
Right.
Um, it just every time I watch this footage, it's like they're blurring out things. Why did they not want us to see what was in that toilet? Was it
Right.
so inhumane that they didn't want us to see what conditions she was living in? Because it's already bad for what we can see. But that's the one thing that whenever you and I were studying the surveillance, why are they covering up that part of the toilet?
That's a very good question. Well, I think that that officer for sure should be fired. The one that came in there and told her she watched her dying. She watched her as she was laying there in her own feces and told her to just lay there and suffer.
Every officer that is tied to this specific case should not have the responsibility of looking after human life. And I hope and pray, which I already know, that I know the answer to this even as I speak it, because me and Black Label, we've been watching this and we've studied the surveillance video. I hope and pray that there were not men in that prison, or sorry, it was a jail, not prison, men who were in a control position, but we do know that there were because there was a man who looked to appear to have worked for the facility open the door and look at this young lady while she is burning up and she's naked. So that leads me to think, I mean, I don't like to do conspiracy theories, but we all know that men are stronger than women, and we all know that a woman in a jail has less power than a person who is guarding the jail. So it leads me to believe. I hope this woman wasn't sexually violated or other inmates because that dynamic right there doesn't make sense. Women should not be guarded or looked after by men in a position of power, especially when they're naked like this. They should have brought a female officer or should have had a female operating this unit of the facility. That's just my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. But you will find that there are a lot of male officers in the female facilities in charge.
Disgusting.
And they're in charge of the cell areas because, for one, I guess they say that the men are stronger and they can overpower the women. But I could tell you, that is very, very disturbing information, what we've seen so far. But I can also tell you this: her family's attorney, Sam Aguilar, Aguilar, or Aguilar, stated Chappell died after more than 24 hours of neglect by the jail staff, even as she begged for help and laid on the floor covered in her own waste.
You know,
It's
I'm sorry.
very, very troubling, very telling tale of what has happened to her.
Um, this young woman, let's let's give you a little bit of context. This young woman had a 10-year-old daughter. A 10-year-old daughter. Um, this young woman was calling and pleading with her family before this incident happened, pleading with her family, saying, "Please, can you get me out of here?" Her sister even went public and said that her sister was begging and pleading so badly to get out of this jail that her sister reached out to celebrities on social media to try and get her sister out. And unfortunately, this was not enough to get her sister out, and her sister passed away in police custody. And if you watch the video footage of her sister, and Black Label is going to show a lot of video footage, but if you specifically watch the one of her sister felt so bad because she was trying so hard, and she said that she's going to do whatever she can do to get justice for her sister. I just had to really put that in your guys' head because I don't I could never imagine seeing this happen to any one of my friends, families. Um, uh, if I had a daughter, I could not imagine watching my daughter go through something like this. And that 10-year-old baby girl, who we all know kids have access to social media. Could you imagine you being 10 years old and seeing this happen to your mother on social media? So I really pray that there's justice in this case because this is disgusting. This is disgusting. And whoever's responsible for this needs to be held accountable.
Absolutely, and I do agree. And this is very, very troubling information. Everyone should be very concerned about this. Tosh, Chappelle was being held in the Jackson County Jail in Brownstown, Indiana, on charges stemming from an alleged theft and high-speed chase when she was taken to Schneck Medical Center in nearby Seymour on Friday. And this was at the time in or July. Uh, it's very, very sad. That's about 50 miles north of downtown Louisville.
And I've been to Louisville, Kentucky, and let me tell you, there's certain parts of Louisville, Kentucky that are very nice. Shout out to my people in Louisville, Kentucky. But I had to go out to Louisville, Kentucky for a work assignment about, I want to say, 10 years ago, maybe it was 11 years ago.
Mhm.
And it there were certain parts of Louisville, Kentucky that were very racist, very, very standoffish, and very behind the times. So I don't know what the jail systems are like out there. If I know that there's some people, I know Faith Squad is in Kentucky, so it would be interesting to know people from out that way that support me and Black. Let us know what you guys, if you guys have any information about the jail systems out there. And I just wanted to share my experience when I was out there. It was a it was kind of pleasant, but kind of not. I immediately, my instincts kicked in and I knew what parts of town not to go into. and it seems still segregated about 10 years ago out there in Louisville.
Oh, wow. Okay. Let's go ahead and continue.
Okay.
24 minutes. Chappell calls for help, tries to bang on the doors, and collapses 4 times. No one comes to check on her during those occasions. At 2:31, jail nurse Ed Rutan comes to the cell.
You want to get dressed so you can step out here?
On the third time, at 2:33, he warns her.
Last chance, either you get up and get fit dressed and come on out and talk to me, or I'm just going to go back here.
Oh my.
Right there.
That-
Why is he watching her? Oh, he already knew she was naked the first time he peeped in. He told her to put clothes on, but he's going to come check her out the second time. At that point, a woman guard should have been taken over. Like, why are there men watching a woman in this type of environment? Obviously, he has the upper hand. He could do anything to her. Who knows what happened to her, in between her stint in jail. He could have been doing anything to her.
Well, this is very sad. She has no clothes, first of all.
Mhm.
So, second of all, he shouldn't even be there. She has no clothes. There are no clothes in sight, guys. Does anyone see any clothes anywhere? There's nothing that she could have. She can't even wrap a pillowcase around herself. Now, this is inhumane. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let us know what you guys think, especially the replay gang, because I know there's people like Red and a lot of people that come and they watch the replay. And we also know this is a very impromptu live stream. We told you guys, a few days before Christmas that we would let you guys know there'd be some impromptu live streams, and we try to give you advance notice. So we know when these are not scheduled in advance, we get a more of a replay gang response to the videos. So if you guys are watching this after we've gone live, please let us know what you think. Would you want your daughter in a jail facility that's being monitored by men? Let us know. All right, Black.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let this play out. And then we're going to move over to the next video, Tosh. And of course, we're going to get a lot of responses to this, because if you're not angry, you should be. This could have been your daughter. This could have been you.
He does just that for 35 minutes. When they come back at 3:08, they tell her to get dressed once again, leave, and come back 4 minutes later when Chappell collapses to the floor. When the ambulance arrives at 3:26, Chappell tries to put on a blanket as if it were clothes. 1 hour later, after getting to the hospital in an ambulance, moaning in pain, with yellow eyes and chest, and still handcuffed to the stretcher, Chappell would flatline.
Oh my God. Her eyes were yellow. She moaned all night long and threw up the entire night, guys. Do you really think they would have let this happen to someone that was not Black?
PETA activists treat Labradors better than this.
How many times did personnel come to that door and ignore this woman's cries for help?
And they lied on the report. They even lied on the report, Black, and said that she didn't thump her head when you can clearly hear her thump her head against the bedding, the metal bedding with no cushion.
You could definitely hear a thump. Well, this is why the family has hired one of the best attorneys they could find in that area, in the area that they chose. And I tell you, this is Breonna Taylor all over again.
Oh, yeah.
This is a very, very sad situation. Let's go ahead and continue.
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after, she was dead. The doctors wrote they believe she'd ingested toxic chemicals found in common cleaning supplies.
There we are. There we go again.
Mm-hmm.
There we go again.
Remember earlier when I said she said she was burning up, and
Exactly.
That's why.
Why? If you digest ethylene, okay, glycol toxicity. you're going to be burning on the inside too. And can you imagine being handcuffed to this gurney or the hospital bed? Well, I'm sure they had her cuffed to both. Can you imagine her last moments of suffering, knowing she can't get loose, she can't get help, she can't get anyone to pay her any attention to show that, they're concerned about at least a, a, a less of a loss of life. They had no concern, no care whatsoever. The lady told her, suffer, do it on your own, get dressed, or just die. Pretty much is what
She did.
happened.
She clearly said that on the tape. She said, "Get up or suffer." And you know
Yeah.
what? This goes back to something I said. Um, what video were we doing? We are doing a video. I think it was. Um, Man, there's been so many on Black injustice done in this judicial system against people of color. But I said we were talking about Oscar Grant and how that there was video footage, and Officer Maserly only got like what 11 months after being shown to have shot Oscar Grant in the back while he was handcuffed. Then I talked about Sandra Bland, who was brought into police custody while she was in Texas, and suddenly she was found dead under police custody. And it just really boggles my mind that we have so much sophistication. We have video footage, we have camera footage, we have audio footage, we have clear we have clear criminal activity happening. But this woman who was allegedly accused of stealing is being imprisoned for stealing, right? And her life is being snatched away from her for stealing. But yet, when we have clear evidence of injustice done in jails and in our judicial system, there's no justice for people of color. Make that make sense.
And it makes
Even,
no sense.
even with, you know what I mean, Black? We got video footage, audio footage. They do they think we're stupid? How are you going to tell me
Yes.
report, right? How are you going to tell me in a report that she didn't hit her head when I look at the video footage and the audio and she clearly bumped her head?
She did. And she would not have done that. I just don't believe that she would have if there had been proper bedding on that bed, on both of those beds.
Right, and there's clear. It's clear uh, that these security guards have cameras in the cells for a reason to monitor the inmates, right? So they clearly saw her hit her head, and
Oh, yeah.
even if they thought she was lying about being sick, you could clearly hear her hit her head. That's enough probable cause to at least have her checked out by a physician. Unless you're trying to hide something and you don't want her to be seen by a physician. Is that what is going on? I don't know. But why have cameras in a cell to monitor the inmates? But when you see that they need medical treatment, you're not going to intercept and treat them better than a piece of crap. This is a woman that she was a mother. Yeah, okay. Allegedly, she was in there for stealing. So you're going to treat her like a piece of trash because allegedly she was caught stealing? Come
And
on now.
also, Tosh, she was in there with a lot of other races. She was one of the few blacks in that jail. One of the few.
Well, let me tell you something. There and Black's going to cover this. There's a lot of inmate complaints about the unfair treatment in this particular jail facility
Mm-hmm.
that makes you raise an eyebrow. Okay.
It really does. And that you're mentioning that. I want to say this as well. She was complaining to her family. You mentioned that earlier.
Yes.
And when she complained to her family, she told her family, and this has been troubling me ever since I heard about this. She told her family that somebody had put bleach in her pickle juice. Yes, bleach.
Yep.
Bleach in her pickle juice, and that she was afraid that they were trying to, get rid of her.
Yes. Yep.
So, look, it's mighty funny to me that that's exactly what happened to her.
Her
And
sister. Sorry, Black. Go ahead.
and so, how on earth can the case possibly be closed?
Mhm.
And we're going to go all into all of that too, Tosh. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Tosh.
I was gonna say her sister Renisha went public and also made the statement that her sister told her over the phone that if they don't come and get her out, that means that they're trying to kill her, and to please make sure that she does everything to help her. So basically, Tanisha knew that they were trying to kill her. Allegedly, that's according to what her sister was saying. And also,
Mhm.
if there's cameras in these cells, then you know that they're being recorded while they're talking to their family members on the phone. So it was just Tanisha. What I'm trying to say is Tanisha was boxed in a corner because even if she spoke out, she let
Mhm.
the opposition, which was the security guards, know what she was telling her family, which made it more easy for them to, whoever did this to her, to retaliate against her because she had absolutely no defense. All she had was
None.
begs and pleads. That's all she could do.
Right. And they really pretty much silenced Tanisha.
Oh
They
yeah.
really did. They silenced her voice. They silenced everything that she was, and it seems to be have been planned. It was
Exactly.
definitely something that was planned. I don't know if it was because, it would lead me to believe that it was something that she saw or something that she knew. She found out something while she was
Mhm.
in there that they didn't want her to know about.
Exactly. Hang on, Black.
And
I need to get rid of this troll. So just give me 1 second.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
But everyone, welcome to the live stream. And if you haven't subscribed to Black Label Reviews, go ahead and do so at this time. Be sure to set your post notification bells. When we do upload, you will receive an immediate notification. And we're live now, and we have this new surveillance video from Jackson County Jail, which shows exactly what was going on hours before the demise of Tanisha Campbell, or to me, Tanisha Chappell. It's very, very sad. Methanol, ethylene, glycol. I mean, it's to have to be suffering from toxicity from either of the two of these, or a combination of both, is excruciating.
Absolutely.
Totally excruciating. Let's go ahead and continue.
Okay.
The autopsy would later find the cause of death to be undetermined after testing for antifreeze, but they did note toxicity due to an unknown substance. Chappell had no.
There we go.
Mm.
Toxicity. Now, we do agree with that, Tosh, right?
Absolutely.
Yes, we do. We agree. Do you guys agree with the autopsy report that there was some toxic level of some type of a foreign substance in her body? If you do or you do not, please drop a comment below after the stream. Let's go ahead and continue.
Okay.
No hard drugs in her system. Back at the jail, the videos show this: the guards cleaning up her cell. Chappell was in jail for a theft charge and for leading police on a chase. Her family told me she didn't deserve to die. The Jackson County prosecutor declined to charge it.
Okay, now this is a very upsetting situation. We're going to pause the video right there.
Hmm.
And Tosh,
Yes.
what do you think about the DA saying he's not going to do anything about this?
Well, it just goes to show you that there's this code amongst um amongst them, right?
Hmm.
Um, It just shows you that it's not equal rights for everybody. It also goes to show you that justice is justice is not for everybody. It's especially harder for people of color to get justice, and it's really sad when you have video footage that can corroborate the injustice that's being done, and there's still no justice. I can't imagine what it was like, for our great grandparents, because obviously they didn't have half of the evidence that we have, and they were just done dirty. But we're in 2022 with all of this video footage, all of this evidence, and even the DA will not step in and do the right thing. It just goes to show you what we're up against. That's why there needs to be more Black Label Reviews channels who speak on this kind of stuff, because it's outrageous, and it's going to keep on happening if we don't speak up and say something about it. And we're going to keep spreading the message in 2022. As long as these cases keep happening, I'm going to back Black Label up 120%. And
Thank you,
hopefully
Tosh.
we just Black, thank you. I mean, this is a lot of the stuff that you have brought to this platform I didn't even know about, because the news doesn't cover this. And there's things like the Gabby case. That was so sad what happened to Gabby. Like, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I just
No,
wish that Jaylani Day had the same kind of coverage. It's like, until you complain and speak out about it, then they'll cover it. But it's like we're an afterthought. People of color are just an afterthought all the time. And,
right. And when a
oh,
crime is committed against a Black person, this is what we get.
right,
Nobody sees anything.
right,
Nothing happens. It's the blank face. They get the pass.
exactly.
This has got to come to a halt, guys. This is enough. Enough.
It is enough. It's
It's
ridiculous.
very much enough.
I
And
mean,
look, we're going to go ahead and Tosh, thank you very much for your support, your love and your support. And we're going to go ahead, if you don't have anything else to say about that particular video, and slide into this other video. This is definitely cruel and unusual punishment. Let's go in and kind of take a look at what her attorney has to say about this.
About the moments leading up to 23-year-old Tanisha Chappell's in custody death. Her family giving new details as the new attorneys on the case lay out a plan to find the truth. Elle Smith is live in Southern Indiana tonight with the case developments. Elle?
Shay, right now, the game plan for that legal team is to fact check everything. They want to know exactly what happened to Tanisha Chappell in the Jackson County Jail. They are not even choosing to speculate on the cause of her death until they have all those details, but they did give new insight in the days leading up to her death.
The conditions at the Jackson County Jail are what we describe as cruel and unusual punishment.
Today, for the first time publicly, the family of 23-year-old Tanisha Chappell, alongside with one of their attorneys, Lanita Baker, gave new details into the investigation of her July 16th death after being escorted by ambulance from the Jackson County Jail.
She went in a young 23-year-old mother, healthy, and she should have returned to her family that same way.
Her family laid out a timeline on what they believe happened inside the jail. On July 15th, Baker says the sheriff's office told the family Chappell spiked a fever, and the Jackson County Jail began monitoring her fever every 15 minutes. Then she began to vomit as well. According to a release from Indiana State Police, on July 16th, Chappell was taken to a Seymour, Indiana hospital where she later died.
And it was not until she was found unresponsive that they actually called EMS.
Chappell had been in the Jackson County Jail for almost 2 months on multiple felony and misdemeanor charges related to resisting law enforcement, theft, leaving the scene of an accident, and reckless driving causing bodily injury. Over her time there, the family says Chappell called begging her family to get her out due to reports of physical abuse. She told family she was beaten by other inmates and the victim of racist attacks and remarks.
She told me if something happened to her, get to the bottom of it. Our last conversation, I think she just put on a big front. She just didn't really want us to know what all she was going through.
Indiana State Police has conducted an autopsy and is awaiting results.
Yes. Go ahead, Tosh.
So this goes back to what I was saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Tanisha was calling her sister, and that woman that was just speaking was her sister, Ranisha. She was
Yes.
telling her sister that there are racist cops watching her. She was telling her sister that she was being beaten while under police custody. She was telling,
Yes.
she was begging and pleading. But what you also need to we also need to understand is that those calls were being recorded. So she was really in a vulnerable position. Um, but the sad thing is that Tanisha said they're trying to kill me, get me out of here. Tanisha knew that she was dealing with a limited amount of time before they,
Succeeded.
to me, that is very disgusting to me because it showed you what she was up against. And her sister even said that she almost kind of like gave this solemn sort of vibe after a while because I think at some point Tanisha knew that all her fight, all the wind in her sails had been taken out, and she couldn't fight anymore. And it reminded me of that part of Color Purple when Oprah Winfrey, when she was very like defiant and she had all this confidence, and then when she was underneath the rule of that racist, white lady, she just
Mm-hmm.
became so subservient, and it was all of her confidence just swept away from her. When I listened to Tanisha's sister speak, you could feel it. You could see that Tanisha was begging. She had fight. She had hope. She said, "Please get me out of here." She's telling them what's going on, and when she
Right.
knew that her fight, her anything, all she had was a phone, and even that was being monitored. It it's almost like whoever was out to get this girl knew they had to silence her because she was speaking too much.
Yeah. And the things that were found on the inside of her and the things that are being seen to us, you can never take those pictures away. That cell was wiped clean. I mean, she had nothing in there,
Mm,
not a pair of underwear to put on, nothing.
mm-mm,
They treated her like she was an animal.
mhm.
Really. I mean, this is really a very, very disturbing situation.
I wonder if they can dig up the phone conversations that Tanisha had during her stay at that jail.
Yeah. And I hope that the family of Tanisha gets the resolve that they really do deserve, because no one should have to go through what she went through, and she was in police custody with no clothes on, being treated unhumanely. And this is very, very hurtful to the Black family to have to sit up and watch this. It's tearing me apart.
Me too.
So we're not trying to be disrespectful anyone. We're just trying to bring you very, very important information about what has transgressed in her case.
Hmm.
May she rest in peace. And
Yes.
let's go ahead and move on.
Hmm.
According to Baker, the sheriff's department told the family they are speculating Chappell's death was a chemical issue. Baker disagrees and has contacted an independent medical examiner to perform an
Back to
autopsy.
I
Yolanda.
just want y'all to know, people, we really do love her.
Right.
Like her family, her friends. Like it hurts. It really, really, really does.
Now, I reached out to Indiana State Police for comment, and they said they had no new information to share, but they're still waiting on toxicology and autopsy reports. Reporting live.
Okay, now we've received all the toxicology and reports and stuff. This was an earlier broadcast.
Mhm.
But yeah, what do you guys think about this? This is very, very heartbreaking. Can you imagine being sent to jail, no matter what you've done. I mean, a killer on the street gets more respect than this.
Mm-hmm.
I
Absolutely.
mean, really, guys, come on now. You have people that have beheaded, mutilated. They've done so many things to people. You have serial killers. You have all types of people that are doing these devious things, and they get more humane treatment than this mother of 10 got, just because she did some type of a theft and she did a high speed pursuit. I thought that you were guilty when found guilty.
That's right.
Okay? You should not be treated this way, whoever you are.
Mm-hmm.
You should not be allowed to be treated this way. And as far as I'm concerned, that facility should be shut down. It
Oh,
really,
absolutely. I
it
agree.
really should. This is inflaming. It's very unsettling. And oh my God, guys, there's more. Let's go into a little bit more
Mhm.
information.
And can I just say one thing?
Oh, sure. Go ahead, Tosh.
I just want to read 2 points that Yolanda James mentioned because I thought they were really valid points.
Mm-hmm.
Yolanda James said someone else will have to take another look at this. It might happen when it becomes nationwide, and I completely agree with that. Like it, when things become nationwide, then all of a sudden people start to care. So, and then Yolanda James also said that there are recordings now. They are probably hiding them. And I think that's in response to my question about where the phone calls between Tanisha and her sister Renisha and her other family members, are those going to be made available to the public? And I would tend to agree with you, Yolanda. They're probably hiding them, but we do know that they exist, and I hope that that
Right.
is as evidence to help her family. And I'm sure they're probably going to be asking for them as well.
Yes, of course they are. And, it's just a very, very sad time when you have the footage coming from inside of the jail cell, and this is what we get. I mean, that's heartbreaking. The black community should be outraged. Where are leaders?
Mm-hmm.
This woman was treated like an animal inside of an American jail system. Okay? A pet gets more love than that.
I watched a YouTube video last night of a dog of some puppies that were trapped in tar,
Mm-hmm.
and that video got like hundreds of thousands of views. You know, uh, this type of injustice for people like Tanisha doesn't even get that scope of attention, and that right there, I don't need to say anymore.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you guys that it's very upsetting, and we're going to go into, want to show you guys one more thing before we end the live
Okay.
and give you our final thoughts. I would love to hear what Tosh thinks about all of this. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and go into this other video right quick.
Yeah. And again, thank you, Black, for having me on the show.
Takes at least.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your support, Tosh. It's all my pleasure. I couldn't do this one without you.
And you know how it is. The feeling is 100% mutual. And thank you so much for all you do to bring these types of important questions to the forefront. Because there's no right or wrong answer, but we're clearly intelligent individuals, and we know the difference between right and wrong. We know the difference between what we see and what a report is telling us we didn't see. So
Exactly. So listen, this Southern Indiana prosecutor is not filing charges in the Tanisha case,
of
and
course,
we're going to take a look at a video that substantiates that fact.
that's
So
sickening.
let's go ahead and go into that, guys.
Okay.
Chappell's family says this 15-page report leaves them with more questions than answers. The report doesn't determine the cause of death or solve any of the mysteries they've had for months. The family says it's infuriating and they're not done fighting for justice.
Like they just want us to move on. Well, she's 23. We don't really know. She just passed away, and
We don't have no answers. That's not good enough.
That's why Renisha Morrell, Tanisha Chappell's sister, and Levita McLean, her mother, say they're not going to stop fighting.
We deserve answers, and they need to pay for what they've done. They have to start answering the things. They sit no higher than us.
The document from the Jackson County prosecutor outlines the medical care Chappell is said to have received in the Jackson County jail. The report says Chappell first told jail staff she wasn't feeling well on July 15th, the day before she died.
Okay, I'm going to pause the video right here. Why, of course, the family has stepped in. Look, they're all they have. The prosecutor has said that he doesn't find any reason to do any further investigations in this case. I think it's very cruel, very unconsiderate, and very unnatural coming from someone in such a high position as his. And something has to be done about this. This case cannot be closed. Cannot be. That is unacceptable. What do you think, Tosh?
Well, it just goes to show you they're all working together. And that's why we, as a community, me, you, everyone that's watching this video, everyone that's going to watch this video after the live is over, the same way that they try to saddle up on us, we need to have that same tenacity and throw it back up in their face, just the way Tanisha was throwing up blood and sitting in her own feces, and she was throwing up vomit with no help. You know what I mean? But until we have that same kickback and tenacity, they're going to keep getting away with this kind of stuff.
Exactly. So it's our responsibility to keep an eye on our family members and also the people that we have in charge. That woman that told her to just suffer because she didn't have the ability to physically get off that floor. I don't know. If I digested some type of foreign substance such as methanol, I don't know. My insides may be burning. So I don't think I would have the ability to get up off the damn blasted floor. Okay.
I mean, that lady was acting like she was the one that was poisoning Tanisha. I mean, because let's be honest, if you're guilty of something and you know what the person is going through, that's something you would say. You know what I mean? If you know what that woman is going through, that's something you would say. That's something a serial killer would say to someone that they just poisoned. That's not something that a trustworthy police official, a cop would say. That's not something someone would say who is trustworthy or cares about the inmates. Hey, what's up, the real DJ Fruit Loops?
Welcome in the real Fruit Loops. Thank you for stopping in and for your support. We're on fire about this case, real. What do you think?
Yeah, the real DJ Fruit Loops says cops have things in jail. If you throw up blood, the jailers will claim, oh, they just bit their cheek and they're faking. And they have this good old boy mentality. They all stick together. You know, they all sit there in a lunchroom. They all write the same report. They all corroborate each other's fake, fictitious story. And then they run it up to the DA who's in on it. And then there's no justice. And they just hope that we get worn out. I mean, I don't care if there's 20,000 people in this chat or if there's 10 or 20 people in this chat. My voice is never going to be silenced until something is done about this. This is ridiculous. This keeps happening over and over and over again, and nothing's being done about it. It's disgusting. And like I've said many times before, until it happens to us or our family members, then we don't say anything. We just gawk and like, oh, that's horrible that happened to them. But when it happens to us or our family members, or when we're the ones stuck in that jail cell, like Tanisha was, then all of a sudden, it's a big deal. No, we got to change that. We need to come together as people of color and do something about it. Everyone should be doing a live stream talking about this madness. Everyone should feel as disgusted as me and Black feel, as real DJ Fruit Loops, Yolanda James, all the civil rights activists, all the Black activists that do so much to try and stop this from continuously happening to our people. We need more of that. Giddy up and go. But
that's right. Everyone should be on fire right now. And I'm going to tell you this. On July 15th, 2021 at 4:47 p.m. Miss Chappell contacts jail staff and says, "I'm throwing up blood." She also said, "I left it in the toilet so you could see."
Wow.
Now, does that explain the black box covering up the toilet, Tosh, that we discussed? Because we had a
Oh,
little discussion about that toilet, guys, about that
mm,
box. We had to decipher what it was.
right. I knew that there was something they were hiding in that toilet because it had to have been fecal matter, or but now this explains it. It was the blood.
Yes.
It was the blood that
Yeah.
she was, you know, which goes to show you if you know someone is throwing up blood, you know that is serious. And
Very.
there's also reports that when she was first admitted into that jail, that Tanisha was complaining of high temperature. Her temperature was so severe that they had to continuously check her fever to see why it was so high. They did not give her any medical treatment. Now, we all know with this whole Rona thing, they tell you if your fever is over a certain amount, go seek medical attention. Tanisha's fever was so exacerbated, they had to keep checking her on a regular basis. It never went down and they never did anything.
Guys, this went on for over 24 hours. Over 24 hours, they allowed Tanisha to lie there and suffer, and she continually was throwing up. They have documented it in the records that she threw up all night.
They're acting guilty because
And
a
they
guilty.
failed to get.
I'm
Go ahead,
sorry, but a guilt. That's if you're doing something to someone and they're showing symptoms of what you're doing to them. Like for instance, if you're poisoning someone or if you're hitting them up beside the head, right? That that is the response that you would give because you're the one doing it to the person. An innocent person wouldn't react that way. They'd be like, "Oh my God, there's blood in the toilet. Let's call 911. Let's call someone to get this person to the doctor." That's just common sense. There's not one guard, one cop, not one person that did that.
not a soul. No one had time to help her when she couldn't help herself. What do you guys think about this? Please feel free to drop a comment in the chat and also drop a comment below after the stream. We're going to go ahead and continue. We're running low on running kind of behind in time.
He reported she had thrown up blood, but the report says jail staff investigated and saw no blood. That night, jail employees say they checked in on her 5 different times. The next day, the report says Chappell was moved to a holding cell so she could be monitored more closely. One inmate says she was thrown down as she was brought into this cell, but the report says video footage proves otherwise. It's footage the family says they were never shown.
If they was able to write up a 15-page, they should have been able to release the footage right then and there when they released that.
The report goes on to say Chappell then revealed she had sickle cell disease. At 3:15, the jail calls for an ambulance.
Okay, now, did she have sickle cell? Does anybody know anything about that? Did she have sickle cell?
Mm. If she
Now,
has sickle cell, that's a very, very, very dangerous thing, a disease to have. You need to have adequate medical attention immediately, especially
yes,
if you're poisoned, especially with sickle cell.
yes.
Anemia? Oh no, you don't play with that at
Oh,
all.
this is terrible. Okay, let's continue.
Okay.
Protected, and she wasn't safe.
The document says ambulance personnel noted Chappell had warm and dry skin with yellow discoloration. Doctors reported thinking it could be because of her sickle cell, or she could have ingested a toxic substance. Before tests could be done, the report says she died. Toxicology reports all came back negative for chemicals related to antifreeze poisoning, something hospital staff considered a possible cause of Chappell's illness.
We waited this long to basically get nothing, and they're gonna close the case with nothing.
The coroner lists Chappell's manner of death as undetermined. Feeling stuck with no answers, the family now has a question for the community.
Now, are y'all really okay with knowing a 23-year-old girl dies in Jackson County in a jail, a system that's supposed to be designed for justice?
Hey, that is the question I want to impose to the Black Label Reviews family. Are you guys okay with this? Are you comfortable? Can you sleep good at night? What if this was your sister or your daughter or your cousin or your friend that you know was a good person that just happened to have a bad day? Things didn't go her way that day. That does not mean that this non-violent young woman deserved to be tormented this way. Would you agree or disagree? Please drop your comments below after the stream. We're going to be ending the live after this plays out, and we're going to give you our final comments, our final thoughts, Tosh. Okay?
Sounds good.
Sound good? Very good. Let's continue.
And they don't have to give us no answers at all whatsoever.
The prosecutor ends the report saying they found no crimes were committed by inmates or employees.
Though the report concludes that Indiana State Police's investigation, Chappell's family says their investigation is far from over. The lawyers are still looking into her death, and her family hopes the FBI will take up the case. I'm Bobby McSwine, WHAS 11, on your side.
Well, let's hope that the FBI will, in fact, take up the case, because we have a lot of this, and it's very deceptive within that Indiana prison, that Indiana jail system.
Yep.
If you can house an independent individual that comes in perfectly fine, mentally and physically, why are you showing us a picture of them in a cell with nothing on, no clothes? I mean, the world should be outraged, not just Black people. This could be happening to anyone right now. Really.
Yes.
It's a lot.
Yes.
Tosh, what do you think? Give me your final thoughts.
Well, my final thoughts are in 120% agreement with yours. I think it's disgusting. This family just lost their loved one 5 months ago, and they're slapped in the face and victimized again with video footage that shows that there was negligence done. And then they're slapped in the face again with the same people that victimized their loved one, with saying that there's nothing that's going to be done to hold them accountable, especially that pig that told Tanisha to just suffer while she was taking her last breaths. I'm glad that the FBI is going to be investigating this. And if the family ever watches this video, you guys keep on fighting, and justice for Tanisha. That's my final thoughts. And then also, I know we're like 3 minutes over time. I know Black Label wanted to end this right at an hour, but I have to say, Black Label, thank you so much for bringing these types of stories to the forefront. I didn't even know about this until Black Label told me about it this morning, and she said, Tosh, we have got to go live. We have got to do it. And I said, I will be there. I will be there. But so thank you to channels like this who actually bring these types of stories to the forefront. And justice for Tanisha, and also Black, and everyone. Thank you for supporting Black, and Black Label, thank you for having me as a guest on your show. I really appreciate you.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. Thank you so very much. I couldn't do this episode without you, and I really, really appreciate you and your love and support, Tosh. And guys, please be sure to go over and subscribe to Tips from Tosh Time. She airs every Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and also sub up to Tosh Shorts. She uploads some delicious food videos every day at 6 a.m. Short clips, and that'll get your taste buds going quite well there. Thank you again, Tosh. And guys, I really appreciate you. Happy New Year to everyone. Happy 2022.
Yes.
And thank you for your love and support. And we're looking forward to bringing you guys the latest breaking information on your own culture.
Yes.
As well as other information and surrounding breaking news stories that you need to know about. Until next time, justice for Tanisha. And we're going to keep you guys updated on whatever else is going on. And we're hoping that the FBI will get involved with this, Tosh.
Yes.
Because, yes, they really do need to.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, Tosh. You have anything else you want to say?
Well, you know how we always end the line.
What do we say?
Peace out.
Peace.